Hello guys, and welcome to the explanation video for the fire rate modifications. Now, let me make this clear that I'm no gun expert, so anything I say with this might be wrong. I'm not sure. I'm just talking about what I know and putting together something else with what I know and probably what I can make up. Trying to be realistic, but trying to keep it balanced here. Now, the bullet velocities is what's going to dictate the damage. Let's start off with a normal bullet, no modifications. So take an AK-47. Let's say we're doing two types of AKs. So we have a normal AK-47 on semi-automatic. We have another AK-47 that is on semi-automatic, but actually, let me correct myself there. The second AK-47 is on bolt action. Now, yes, AK-47s do not have bolt action. They come in semi-automatic and full auto, and I think some of them come in bursts. I'm not sure. But the AK-47 is not bolt action. But let's say for the sake of this, it is. So now the AK-47 is semi-automatic. We can fire that off pretty fast by pulling the trigger. When that bullet fires, the bolt opens. That launches the bullet out. That launches the casing out. When that bolt opens, the energy that's pushing the bullet escapes through this bolt. So instead of pushing the bullet, some of the energy is escaping out the bolt and not helping the bullet, which means in less velocity. Velocity will be turned into energy when it hits something. If it hits a flesh target, it's going to leave a temporary cavity and then a permanent cavity. The more velocity a bullet has, the more energy it can transfer into a body when it hits for the temporary cavity. So the larger the temporary cavity, the larger the permanent cavity. Now, if we're talking about real life, the bigger a permanent cavity is, the more blood can go out of it, which means you can bleed out faster from different sized cavities. But we're going to talk about the video game. So this means more damage can be dealt with more velocity. So I think the closer you are to someone, the more damage a gun should do. The farther back, the less. It's pretty basic. This is basic gun knowledge. The bullet slows down, has less impact, less energy to transfer into the body. Next is the bolt action. Now with the bolt action, once fired, the bolt does not come out. Now what you can do is fire it once the bolt's done completely left the chamber, which is before you can even think. You can't even blink fast enough to beat a bullet, really. When you pull the bolt, the empty cartridge goes out, push it back in, and it chambers the next round. So now, without the bolt opening too early, the bullet can reach full velocity. That is a reason why bolt-action snipers tend to be more damaging than semi-auto. Of course, they all have their own respective capabilities. So now, this fire rate modification sort of works like a bolt action. The faster, the full auto modification that makes the gun shoot faster means the bolt opens faster. That means more energy is escaping. The bullet does not travel as far and does not do as much damage as it probably normally would. But it's shooting faster. It means you can put more rounds out. This is usually good for machine guns and close quarters submachine guns, since that's what this modification is mostly intended for, since machine guns are not really made for damage, they are made for rate of fire and suppression. While assault rifles, if you have the control and skill to do this, would be more beneficial to use a slower fire rate modification. This would make the bolt open slower, so it takes longer for it to open, means less energy is escaping and more energy is pushing the bullet to reach more velocity, so it does more damage. And I think there should be this one modification that's called a bolt action modification. Now, unlike what you probably think it would, you have to pull the bolt manually. That what it does, it will allow the bullet to travel all the way out the chamber. It'll go all the way through the barrel, go out of the gun, where where what energy from the gunpowder was cannot help it no longer, and then the bolt comes back. That round goes out. Next round goes in, chambers it, and ready to fire again. So it'll be basically a very slow full automatic. It shoots slower but does the most damage. Let's take the AK-47 and AKM for example. This is from Dead Zone, by the way. In Greg's Dead Zone, the AK-47 shot faster than the AKM, but the AKM did way more damage. I think the AK-47 was a 5-shot kill to the body, and about 3 shots to the head, I think, maybe 2 actually. While the AKM was pretty much 3 shots any part of the body, except if you hit the head, it was about a 1-shot headshot kill, like most guns should be. So that's a perfect example for this rate modification of the rate of fire. Now, what does Unturned have to do with the bolt? Since there is no real life physics. That was just the example I was using. The full auto should make the gun shoot faster, but do less damage. The slower fire rate, whatever it would be called, that modification does more damage, makes the gun shoot slow, while the bolt action modification make the gun shoot the slowest out of all 3, but do the most damage. But that's just my idea. I do hope there'll be a lot more attachments added and a good amount of guns. But Greg's doing great so far. I can't wait to see more. And that's it for this video, guys. So see you in the next one.